able to record a new video today. I actually have recorded this video a couple of times. I know that y'all were saying that I was saying I was going to be posting up soon. However, we have been having some technical difficulties. So I'm going to get this message out to y'all today, God willing, and I know that it will be helpful to y'all. So again, thank y'all again for tuning in. This is For the Good of the People podcast, and this is for the good of the people. So I do want to go ahead and say welcome to all my new people, and this is an open community, so if you do feel like that you do belong, you are looking for a community where you belong, where the good people stand, and where we help and cultivate each other, then please, by all means, subscribe to my channel. Stay tuned, comment, give me your feedback, give me some suggestions on how I can improve my channel, and we'll go from there, because this is a journey that we're on together. So thanks again, everybody, for tuning in, my old people and my new people, my oldies and my newbies. All right, so let's go ahead and hop in. The first thing that I wanted to talk about is something that I have been observing over some time, about negativity in all different places, how it festers and how it reproduces and populates more negativity. So with this observation, I actually I took some time out to observe some people and interactions that I was having that may have been becoming negative or had some negative energy coming in. And I also had observed other people, other interactions between people, and I came to observe that our reactions to negativity start in a specific way. They actually start with a trigger, which is our first step. This is going to start in a diagram, you guys, so I want you guys to stay with me, and then I'm going to make it all come together at the end. The first part of the diagram is our triggers. These are our automatic responses that we have inside of our body, things that we cannot necessarily control. This is coming from stimuli and experiences that we've had in the past. So the first step of our diagram is going to be those triggers. The trigger is what starts the negativity. It's the first step of it, and it makes up the bigger part of it, okay? So our next step is going to go into an emotion. So the emotion, which normally is fear, it can be anger, it can be happiness, sometimes it can be good. It can be a lot of different emotions that are coming from this trigger, okay? So again, we started with step number one at the top, which is our trigger. Our trigger is something that came from the past. It's something that we can't necessarily control. But then our next part, which is our second part, our emotion, it comes from the trigger, and it can be controlled. This is something that we can choose, not necessarily as easy as our actions, but we can choose how we want to respond, how we want our body to respond, or how we want to interpret the triggers or the automatic reactions that our body is having, okay? So our next step is going to be where we see this produced into the world. Where do we see the negativity come into the world? Where is it pushed off into another person's day, or, in different ways? It all comes from that emotion. And then our third part, it then becomes the anxiety, the thing that's coming out of our body. It becomes the depression, it becomes the curse words, or it becomes just the uncomfortability that's coming from the emotion, then causes us to react in a certain way, okay? For example, you can think about in your relationships when you don't really realize why you react certain ways sometimes, but what is that coming from? Is coming from a response that you can't necessarily control, and that's exactly why you feel like you can't control what's coming out. But there is a difference between this trigger and the emotion and the product that's coming from the emotion. And there's certain parts of this that's controllable. So that's the part that I want to talk about today. What parts of these are controllable, and how are we going to control them? So stay tuned. So after this observation, I decided, how are we gonna combat this negativity? So with all that being said, it's very important that we learn how to eliminate this negativity in the world. As good people, we don't want any negativity around us. We definitely don't want it coming from us, okay? So what I did was I took that diagram and I tried to make a flip side of it, a reciprocal of it. And this is what I came up with. This is how we will combat the negativity that's coming from wherever it may be coming from, okay? So our first step, because our first piece of the diagram was our automatic response that's coming from this, okay? What we're going to do to combat that is we are going to introduce new habits to eliminate those triggers. So this is going to include your affirmations. This is going to be your working out in the morning. This is going to be your eating better. This is going to be just making things better for yourself. You know what that may mean. That may mean reading a book. That may mean being a little bit more active. Whatever that may mean to you. Eliminate those triggers by giving the reverse of them. Eliminate those bad thoughts about yourself through affirmation and journaling. There's a lot of different things. You have to do the research, okay? You have to do the research. You can't expect anybody else to give you all the keys to it. In order for you to produce and have knowledge, you have to do the research and you have to do the work, okay? First things first, that first step was to eliminate those triggers so we need better habits, okay? Now, our second step is going to be to combat the emotion that's coming from this. So how do we combat emotions? We sometimes feel like the emotions they're automatic as well. No. Tell those emotions, no. Okay, this is not what we're going to do today. I'm in control, okay? Get rid of those emotions, okay? And how are we going to do that? We're going to do that by exercising grace. Grace on yourself, grace on your family, grace on everybody, okay? You don't need to be taking on everybody's emotions, everybody's negativity. Be your own person, okay? Exercise grace on yourself and exercise grace on others. It will make it completely simple, and it's just that simple, okay? The only way you're going to make this hard is if you don't really want to do or be or embody what grace actually is. Grace means that I'm going to allow myself to learn. I'm going to allow myself to be better. Do that for yourself, and it will be easier for you to do it for other people. All right? So our next step actually is going to be, all right, so remember our diagram went trigger, emotion, and then response. So our what we're going to do to combat that response is going to be our next step, our third step. And that's just going to be say no. Say no to that emotion. Say no to that bodily response. Say no to your heart beating fast. Breathe slower. Say no to your breath getting short. Take deep breaths. Say no to the negativity that's coming out. Keep your mouth shut. There's ways to combat these things, and once you come to the reality and to the conclusion that if I want to combat these things, I have to observe what the issue is, and then I have to come back to it, and I have to say, what am I going to do differently this time? What can I do? I need a complete opposite result than what I'm getting right now, and if I do, then I probably need the exact opposite thing to be done in order for me to get that result that I'm looking for, okay? So I hope that helped. Remember the big three this time, okay? And that's going to be what we're going to do to combat our negativity, all right? Step one, we are wanting to eliminate the triggers. We are developing better habits so that we can be better people. 2, exercise grace on yourself, exercise grace on others. It's just a good habit, okay? It's gonna improve how you feel on the inside because you're not taking everything personal. And then 3 is gonna be just say no to all the extra stuff, all the things that you can actually say no to. the fact that I'm not going to be negative today. No, I'm not going to show up like this today. No, I'm going to be the better part of myself today. No, I'm going to use the little bit of strength that I have inside in my bank, and I'm going to show up, and I'm going to be the bigger person this time. Yes, then you're on the right track, baby. Right there, right there. You're on the right track. Say no to all of those issues, all those other things, and be only who you decide you want to be. Don't let anybody elicit any type of response from you. Baby, it don't matter who it is. You can do it. And I believe in y'all, okay? So remember, this week our challenge is no negativity, and we are going to thrive. We're going to win. I know that because this is the community for that. This is what we give y'all an environment to do. So take this. Today's Sunday, and I love posting on Sundays because you have the whole week to try this out. You have 7 whole days until you should hear from me again, and then we'll check in and we'll see how it worked for all of us, okay? All right, y'all. So thank y'all again for tuning in. This was such a pleasure to be able to talk to y'all and give y'all some of the insight that I have, and I cannot wait to see y'all next time. Y'all be good.